The following program is sponsored by Friends of Life Outreach International.
And I've never had scenarios in my life this trying, but I've also never felt my faith this deep. And that is the beauty that comes in the messes that we all face.
Always fighting for us.
Next, singer-songwriter Anthony Evans opens up about the recent life-altering events in his family.
Oh, you're fighting for us.
Hey. Thank all of you. Welcome to Life Today. I'm James Robinson. Betty and I welcome you. Anthony Evans is with us. You know, I tell Tony Evans and the whole family, you know, Priscilla Shower, you know, Jonathan, you know, Anthony. This is y'all's television ministry. We just pay for it, you know. We just love you to come. You know what? You need to know this, you viewers. We support the urban alternative. We support virtually everything that God puts on Tony's heart with prayer and support and encouraging. Our church Gateway does. I encourage everybody, pray for him, lift him up, and pray that what God's put on his heart will just take hold and it'll just become a practice in the urban community everywhere. Because it's only love and truth that can put it in play effectively. And that's what Tony's teaching. And there's just not anyone that does it any better. Tony, I love you. And just love your whole family. Anthony's CD, Altered, had double meaning. We'll let you tell you in a minute what he's implying. But we're sending this to all of you who will help save some children's lives who just don't have enough to eat, and they're precious and they're beautiful. And it's not an exaggeration when Betty and I say we love them. You know, you don't go all over the world and march in the most difficult circumstances because you think you're having a blast. You're going over there to share the love and life of God, but we couldn't share it with effect if it were not for people like you. So we're saying thanks with this incredible CD. Okay, let's just talk about, by the way, welcome. Why don't you welcome me to the show? You know,
Thank you.
Hey, glad to see you. I've been talking about the family. Are you part of this family?
Yes, I'm part of it. I'm part of it.
Tell us the name Altered, because you've got altar and then so it's a double impact here.
Yeah, over the last 24 months, my perspective on faith has changed very drastically with some of the circumstances our family has faced. As a lot of people know, because we're in the public eye in a sense, that we've gone through a lot of loss in the last couple years. And so I was dealing with loss, listening to worship songs, I'm the one in my family who's highly emotional. So when things tragic happen, I question my faith to the core. It's very hard for me to not go down to the root and then work my way back into how and why I believe what I believe. So I was wrestling with all this, and this is prior to us hearing about the current scenario my mom is in. And I was realizing that God was using tragic circumstances to alter my perspective of him. And I was seeing him again for the first time through new lenses of tragedy, but it was making me see the root of my faith. Like, how much do you really believe the message you're out singing all the time? I was asking myself that question, and I got to see him again for the first time. So this is basically the worship songs I was listening to that were speaking into my life during this past 2-year season. I took them and I altered them. I changed them so you hear them again for the first time. And it was just, this is a record. It's not a gimmick. It's birthed out of an authentic struggle to make it through what's been going on in our family's life.
So there's a worship altar too, though. There's that expression you're doing. But an altered, something happened that changed. And it wasn't just like changing, merely the words were altered, but you were altered. Something profound, supernatural happened inside,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. I tell people this all the time. I grew up wearing glasses and getting contacts and new prescriptions all the time. And every time I got a new prescription, I felt crazy because it was just a new perspective, and it's almost like I got dizzy and a headache and all this stuff, but I was seeing clearer. And right now, new lenses have been put in my eyes, my spiritual eyes, my actual physical existence, and it's a clearer picture, although right now it's making me feel like everything's off, but I'm seeing things the way they're supposed to be seen, which is viewing life as more than just some concerts and traveling around. It's about, do you believe what you're singing? Do you believe that God's telling the truth even when you don't feel like it? And I'm having to ask myself that, and now I feel like I minister from a more authentic and honest place because I have to answer that one before I get up on the stage.
Don't you think that can be a good thing, though?
Yes.
And all of us being available to be altered by God, because life can throw some hard blows at us.
Absolutely.
But if we respond in the way that He would have us respond, we do. We get, I know through the loss of our daughter, I have a different relationship with God that I might not have ever experienced.
Yeah.
A deeper relationship with Him.
I believe that.
That has been good.
Yeah, I believe that with all my heart. The same scenario with what's going on with my mom. You know, it's changed the way. My mom is like the consummate plate spinner because she's been the backbone of my dad's ministry. She was raising us at the same time, balancing all that. And so her existence has been making sure that we are all okay. And in this scenario, me being able to sit and watch my mom get loved on without having to do a thing, and we're with her all day, every day. She doesn't even need us with her all day, every day, but we're just loving on her and seeing her. And as tragic as this scenario is, and as much as I could just turn it off, when I stop and take a view at how well my mom is being loved in this moment and how the world, our family's world, is now revolving around her, it's like that's beauty in the mess, and me believing that God can take trash and messes and make them into miracle moments. That's just one of the many ways I've seen.
You know, I've known the family a long time. Okay, I've known, Priscilla from the time she kind of stunned us all and comes out. But I also watched her grow in glory and grace. And I've known you from the time you kind of began to be known, let's say, for the singing. It's
been a while,
And I want to just tell you this, from the time that I saw you tonight and we had dinner before we came out, you may be watching us in the early morning or sometime in the day, but we tape in the evening and we have dinner with our guests. And from the moment that I saw you, and knowing all that's going on, I know, you got more glory on you, and you've got a countenance that it's easy for me to discern something very special is going on inside of Anthony. From the moment I saw you tonight, I saw a countenance of supernatural peace when I know there's a storm. I saw a rest when there's reason to have no rest. I saw a confidence when you could be full of questions and doubt. I saw you the way the Lord is shaping Himself into you. I want you to know that. But what I'm saying to you is just the truth. I see God shaping you. And I want you to know it's very, very noticeable. So, altered is taking effect. Now, are these the actual songs that are on here?
Those are the actual songs,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to say the names of them.
Okay.
Raise a hallelujah, hope is alive, so will I, fighting for us, what a beautiful name, King of my heart. That's like a medley, I guess.
Yes.
You run one in the other. Do it again, Lion and the Lamb, Winter's Song, Great Are You, Lord, Who You Say I Am. Is that another medley?
Yeah, it's my cousin's favorite song. So those are
Great.
together,
Okay, Reckless Love, Brave, Forever and Oceans. That's another. Man, I used to get all my soloists. John McKay, Jeannie Rogers. They'd do, go one into the other.
Yeah,
Here we go. It's just awesome. It's great. Okay, now, did you actually adjust these a little bit with what you're going through so that there's like something, a message coming out that wasn't saying the original?
Yeah, I didn't change the lyrics at all. I changed the sonics because for some reason God has seen fit to put our family, and we are not trying, but put our family in scenarios where every denomination, every color of the rainbow, everybody's in the audience.
God loves that.
Yes, and that's what heaven's gonna look like.
Whole bouquet.
Yes, that's what heaven's gonna look like.
Yes.
And
It is.
that's what my family has been blessed to have the ministry. So I made sure that sonically it fit the audience. And there's a couple original songs on there that I heard the song, like you mentioned, Fighting for Us. This is again before I knew. I sang this song live for the very first time the night my dad told us my mom's diagnosis.
Wow.
I sang it for my parents at NRB.
Wow.
I sang it for them, and then we got told this. So this become a theme song for our family. So I just wanted to make sure that every lyric sung was not out of a place of me just trying to do like great Christian songs that people enjoy. It was, this is my heart's cry, and I want to sing this message to hurting people in the audience. I hate the thought of getting on stage and presenting something that's all put together for people who are hurting, and I got it and y'all don't. in this moment, my heart is broken, but I have a confidence.
I can see it.
I have a confidence that the Lord's going to move in the life of my family, but also the life of the audience. My prayer is not just for my family, it's for every ear that God has put under the sound of my voice that He's seen fit to. I'm grateful for it. But I want that same confidence to be their confidence, and that's why we recorded these
You ought
songs.
to hear the Lord and what He's saying. You bear witness to what this man's saying. I'm going to tell you something. Now listen, Lois, and listen up, and Tony, listen up, and Priscilla, all of you, Jonathan,
Crystal.
Glory, Chris.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to me, all of you. Something's going on over here. Tony, listen, I've heard you a lot. I think He just one-upped you right here, okay? I mean, the God is all over Him. It's an incredibly beautiful. You know, you mentioned a song. You're going to sing a song for us. Here, what, is it one of them you mentioned already?
It's Fighting For Us, the song that I
Fighting
mentioned.
For Us.
Yes.
Would y'all want to hear him sing this song?
You are not flesh and bone. You are not weak or slow. You're everything brave and bold, and you're fighting for us. You are not distant and cold. Your heart's not angry and closed. No, even in ways we don't know, you're fighting for us. You won't hold back when it comes to your children. You fiercely defend us till we stand delivered. You're fighting for us, always fighting for us. You never close your eyes, and you've never been surprised. Whatever war may rise, you're fighting for us. You move with holy rage in all your miraculous ways. We simply stand here amazed, 'cause you're fighting for us. You won't hold back when it comes to your children. You fiercely defend us till we stand delivered. You're fighting for us, always fighting for us. You won't back down facing armies of thousands. You speak one word and they scatter around us. You're fighting for us, always fighting for us. How great the love, the furious love of the one true Father. How great the love, the conquering love of the one true Father. You won't hold back when it comes to your children. You fiercely defend us till we stand delivered. You're fighting for us, always fighting for us. You won't back down. Oh, you speak one word. Oh, you're fighting for us. Always. You're always fighting for us. You're always fighting for us.
I felt like it's a great song, great words. I just felt like you sense that greater is He that is in us than he that's in the world, and that He's fighting not only with us, but for us. And you really, you've really brought this thing home because you, like you said, you all have seen a lot of heartache. And you realize that he's there fighting for you, even if that fight manifests itself in an indescribable peace or comfort that there's no way you could describe it apart from him.
Absolutely. I believe that, and exactly what you're saying, because I've sat in meeting after meeting with doctors, with my mom, who have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, we're sitting in a skyscraper with all these medicines and all these machines, and you don't know what you're talking, like, to a certain degree, they're like, we don't really know, this is rare. And in those moments, I am like, I am so glad that I can stand on the I can't stand on you in this moment. I can't stand on this skyscraper, I can't stand on the name plastered on this building, but I can stand on the fact that I have a Father who is greater than all this stuff. And I know that in this moment, when you're clueless, he is fighting for me, and that's the confidence. And I've never had scenarios in my life this trying, but I've also never felt my faith this deep. And that is the beauty that comes in the messes that we all face. That's the beauty that comes in it. So
I just want to say to all of you who are watching, I don't know where you are, but I want you to know you are more on God's heart than you could ever imagine.
Absolutely.
God has let me get real close to his heart. And I've told you, if you watch me often, it's because I want to know what's on his heart. And he's made it very clear he likes to share his heart with somebody who cares what's on his heart and who would like to fulfill what's on his heart, and I do with all my heart. But what I do know, when I'm listening to him tell me what's on his heart, he wants all of you who are watching to know that you're on his heart. And you may not think so because you hadn't been thinking about him a lot, but if he notices a sparrow fall to the ground, he notices everything going on in your life, no matter how unattractive or painful or difficult or sinful or desperate, he just loves you. And he wants you to receive that love because he's fighting for you, and he wants to fight through you to help others win their battle. He wants to pour his love out on you so it can flow through you like a river. Don't you believe that with all your heart?
With all my heart.
And you and your family are inspiring us. So I want to say to all the Evans family, Tony, you know how much I love you. I've not only marched into hell with you for a heavenly cause, I've marched to the highest places in the land with you to stand before the greatest leaders in the world, to point them to the one ultimate answer, and it's Jesus, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And I love you and all the family. You know that. All of you who've been here, and you know how much we love you in the church there in Oak Cliff Bible, we just love you. So you just really be praying for the Evans family. But all of you like to say thanks for the whole Evans family, but thank you, Anthony, for blessing us. And I want all of you watching, I want everybody watching all over the world, I want you to get one of these from us. Because we're sending it to everybody who would just give a child something to eat. Would you do that, please? Would you go get your bank card and say, you know what? If $30, $50, or $100 will feed 3 children or 5 children or 10 children, 30, 50, 100, for the next months, and we got hundreds of thousands of them located by loving missionaries, love-filled, Jesus-filled, fighting for them missionaries, would you say, we are going to help you help them? Not a single one of you watching it would say, we're going to do it. And Tony, Anthony, we're going to get this. And buddy, we're going to pray and shout with you. Love your family, but we're going to love the whole family of God and everybody outside the family. And we're going to feed the hungry together. We're going to send this to you to say thanks. I pray to God every one of you watching get it because you reached out and touched someone with the love of God. You watch closely now, and you let God speak to you very clearly, and you respond according to his love leadership.
I've had many people just like you ask me many times, what does malnutrition look like? What does it do? Well, what you're seeing on your screen right now is probably the worst way for you to understand, but the easiest in many ways, is this comparison between 2 little children. These are 2 children that are both 2 months old. One that is just about the weight it should be for its age, and another that at 2 months old, fighting the struggle and losing it of life and death, weighs just on 3 pounds. We're doing whatever we can to save this child's life. We're bringing whatever we have, including asking God to perform a miracle. But I need you to understand that you can be that miracle. The miracle that stops this from happening, that breaks the cycle of malnutrition, poverty, of death. We can reach a mother like this and a child like this out there in their village. We can bring them mission feeding, where we give them life. Life in the form of a bowl of food, each and every day. As believers, God has called us to this world for such a time as this, for a life like this, to bring what God instructs us to bring, and that is life.
For 20 years, Betty and I went all over the third world, looking at beautiful, heartbroken little moms like the one you saw there, praying over their children for a miracle. We held so many of them. We watched some of them die while we prayed over them and tried to comfort the mothers. I want you to know that I couldn't have kept going if I didn't know what love would do. And Betty, we couldn't have kept going year after year after year because it was very dangerous. You were hurt so bad riding on jump seats in the back of the little trucks where the roads have nothing but holes in them, and could have been paralyzed because you did such damage to your back. We wouldn't have kept going if we had known for certain not only that love works, it never fails, but that you would share it. Our viewers put God's arms around a lot of mothers and raised up a lot of little children like that because they cared enough to share.
They have, and thank you so much for that. There are many times when James and I, when we first started going to the mission field, we would see the lines of the children because some of them hadn't eaten for days and days, but they would line up so patiently, and I'd always peek around at the end of the line and hope, James, that we wouldn't run out of food, because we did sometimes. That last little one would get up there and we didn't have anything to give them, and break my heart. I'm so thankful that you have many times joined with us and said, we don't want you to run out anymore. Please continue to do that for us. Join with us, and let's have plenty of food for these precious little ones that deserve a chance in life.
One of the greatest prayers you ever prayed, and she shared it with you. She said, while I was there, I said, God, please let the line to help the children always be longer than the line of children needing help. And you became the answer to that prayer, and I'm asking you to do it again today. We need a miracle. We really do. People are finding so many reasons not to even like anybody or somebody that does something they don't understand, like praying for somebody they don't understand. It's so sad. That's the enemy trying to tear us apart. Betty, you prayed for that, and our viewers became the answer to that prayer. Would you right now go online, or would you dial that phone number there that's always a prayer line? And would you go get your bank card and use it like a check? Could you make a gift to help us feed 3, 5, or 10 children for the next month? Did you know you can feed 10 children for the next several months for $100? Where could you use $100 to feed 10 children for months? You can right here. 5 for 50, 3 for 30. That's not an exaggeration. It's not total child care. It's life-saving nourishment. And those missionaries not only show them the love of God, they point them to the source, Jesus. Would you right now, please, go online or dial the number. Use that bank card like a check. We have some gifts to send you that'll bless you. Anthony Evans' CD altar is going to bless you. I promise you it will. And all the gifts that we offer exalt the Lord and give you a chance to testify. But you're giving the greatest gift. You're giving life. Thank you for making that gift.
Mission Feeding began with a promise to be there in times of crisis for thousands of hurting and hungry children in their time of need. Now more than ever, we need your help to save lives by feeding and caring for children across the continent of Africa. With food reserves gone and many areas experiencing severe famine, we urgently need to replenish our supplies to reach the 400,000 children who are counting on us. Your gift of love can be the miracle answer to a desperate mother's prayer. Call now with your life-saving gift of $30, $50, or $100 that will help feed and care for 3, 5, or 10 children for 3 full months. With your gift, we'll send you the Altered Worship CD by Anthony Evans. This powerful full-length album includes unique versions of some of today's most cherished worship songs that are sure to uplift and inspire you. With your gift of $100 or more, please request a Filled with Faith and Joy travel mug set. These 12-ounce mugs are crafted with large handles, double-layered insulation, and vacuum-sealed lids to prevent spills. Each mug includes a message to remind you of God's blessings and faithfulness. Finally, with your gift of $1,000 or more to help feed and care for 100 children, be sure to request our commemorative bronze sculpture, Safe in the Shepherd's Arms. Please call, write, or make your gift online today.
You know, I told Anthony I could just see the glory and grace of God in him and how much I love him. I want to be able to know that when I hear how many of you called, that I realize suddenly that Jesus is fighting for you, is now fighting in you for others. Mm-hmm. I really do. I pray I'll be so amazed. And by the way, if you get a busy when you call, you be so determined, I'm going to get through. If you have to make a note, I'm coming back a little later, I'm getting through, because I'm going to help put God's arms of love around those precious little children and their families. I'm going to save their lives. And I'm going to gift this incredible CD. Other gifts that we send just to say thanks. Would you join Betty and me in saying thanks to Anthony Evans and the whole Evans family? We love you. Love you big time, buddy. You know that. Thank you. Love all of you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping us share the love of God with others. Thank you.
That's actually the wrong question. It's not what do I do, it's what do I not do.
Understanding what it looks like to take the day off next week. Life Today is made possible by the supporters of Life Outreach International. Your gift will be used exclusively for the exempt purposes of life. The ministry features specific outreaches as examples of the programs it supports and conducts. Gifts are considered to be without restriction as to use unless explicitly stipulated by the donor. The ministry is a member of the ECFA.